Now let's talk about the front band. So usually these buttons are about 3.5, 4 inches apart. So what you're going to do is if we start here at this button and we go down 4 inches, that puts us right here, but that might be down a little. I'm going to go up. I'm going to go to the 3.5. Okay, so there's my 3.5. Okay, so let me get that straight here. And you can look on your pattern and it will tell you kind of how far apart the buttons are in the sequence. Okay, so there's that one. And then now what I'm actually measuring for is this is where the button would go. But once we determine where the button goes, then we can go back and figure out where the buttonhole should go. So if I continue at 3.5 inches all the way down, I'm just gonna get my pins here ready. So here's the next one, 3.5. Let me put some out here. Okay, so there's another 3.5. And I can go all the way down the shirt, okay, at 3.5. Okay, and notice that I'm not worrying about as far as where they exactly go with the width of the band. Right now I just want to mark the length between buttons. Okay, so there's that. Now when I get now near the bottom, because this shirt will get tucked in, I don't want to go too close to the bottom. So I'm right here. Here's 3.5 right here. And there's the bottom. And I now have about 7 1/4, 7 3/8. I'm going to be doing a hem that'll be about 5/8, half an inch to 5/8. So that'll give me 6.5. So I'm not going to do any more buttons. And you can often leave anywhere from 6 to 9, even 9 inches if I wanted. But 9 inches puts me in the middle of these two. And so if I don't put on the last button, I've actually got more like 10 inches till the bottom. So I think I will go ahead and do that last one, and then I'll have about 6.5 inches of no buttons. So that's, I now know where all my buttons are going to go. Okay, and how many buttons is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, that's 8 buttons, and then one on each cuff. That's 10 buttons. I think the pattern tells you to buy 9 buttons. So if I didn't have enough, I guess I could just skip that last one and end here. But I do have enough buttons, and I did add length onto this because my husband's tall, so that's why I need a little bit more. Okay, so there's my buttonhole, and remember the buttonhole is going to be parallel to the seam here at the bottom. So now what I'm going to do, if that's where my button should go, then my buttonhole should start 1/8 of an inch above and then run the length of what I need, which is about half an inch for these buttons. So when I do that, I want to also make sure I'm in the middle of the band. So when I look here, my band is 1.5 inches. So I'm going to move this up 1/8 right here. And then I'm going to make sure that my pin is in the middle, and it's not. So I've got to back this up and put it right here. Okay, so there, now I can take this out. So that's where the buttonhole starts. Okay, and let me just make sure that's, yeah, that's pretty much in the middle. Okay, so now the next thing, I'm just going to move it over a teeny bit. I think that looks better. Maybe I could, I'm going to measure it on this one, this ruler. Yep, that's good. Okay, now the next thing is I want this to be half an inch. Now because of my stripes, it's easy for me to kind of follow straight. So now what I'm going to do is go a 1/2 inch down. So I'm going to put this right here, measure 1/2 inch, and put this right here. Okay, so that's where my buttonhole goes. So what you want to do is from where your button is supposed to go, you go up 1/8, and then you do the length plus the depth of your button. So I'll do that all the way down, and that's what I'll start and stop right here. Those are my buttonholes.